everyone. I'm Erica Hansen, and in this video, I will give you an overview of the steps and timeline for the Google Developer Student Club's 2021 Solution Challenge. The Solution Challenge is an annual contest that invites students to develop solutions utilizing one or more Google technologies. This year's mission is for students to solve for one or more of the United Nations' 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Check out the next video in this series to learn more on these 17 goals and how to brainstorm ideas to help achieve them. For now, let's take a look at the complete timeline of the Google Developer Student Club's 2021 Solution Challenge. The steps can be grouped into 4 phases: register, learn and build, deep mentorship, and demo day. At this phase, you'll join a Google Developer Student Club virtually at your college or university. If there is no club at your university, you can find the nearest one to you by checking our online directory. If you are joining a club outside your university, make sure to team up with at least one student from that university in order to be eligible to participate in the Solution Challenge. Once you are a Google Developer Student Club member, it's time to register your interest at goo.gle/Solution Challenge by submitting the form. Now you can form a team with up to 4 students from your club. Ideally, your team members will have a varied set of technical and soft skills, so you complement each other's strengths. The next phase is where you'll select one or more of the UN 17 Sustainable Goals to solve for. And now it's time to start defining and building your solution. We've created a series of videos to guide you through this process. They offer references to many technical resources available to you, so be sure to check them out. And remember, while you design and build your solution, you can always get guidance and assistance by posting a question on the mentorship platform Partheon, where Google developer experts can help you overcome the obstacles you face along the way. Once you have built your solution, gone through user feedback, and reiterated your code, it's time to record a demo video. The video should be 2 minutes or shorter and showcase your solution in a clear and exciting way. Both your solution and the demo video should be submitted by March 31st through the Solution Challenge website. At this stage, the Solution Challenge team of judges will review and rank all the submissions from around the world. You can check the judging criteria on the Solution Challenge website. The top 50 solutions will be announced and invited to join the deep mentoring phase. This phase is designed to fine-tune and improve the top 50 solutions. These top teams will receive mentoring from Google and Google developer experts. Once completed, these top 50 teams will resubmit their improved solutions and their improved demos to compete for a spot as one of the 10 finalists. These top 10 teams will win an array of prizes, among which are a 1-year subscription to Pluralsight, swag, and additional customized mentoring from Google and Google developer experts. The top 10 teams will also be invited to present their solution to Google and developers all over the world, live on YouTube during the 2021 Solution Challenge Demo Day. During Demo Day, the judges will watch the top 10 demos and interview the finalists. The final 3 winning teams will be announced live during the event, winning all the prizes included in the top 10 category, along with a Chromebook and a private meeting with a Google executive. The Google Developer Student Club Solution Challenge is a great opportunity to learn the latest Google technologies and kickstart your career by learning through doing. You'll be collaborating with Googlers and Google developer experts on your way to building a great solution.
Jose Luis Napes, and I'm the acting lead of the Developer Student Club, AMA Computer College, Caloocan. And gusto ko lang kayo i-welcome ngayon sa aming event series na pinamagatan namin Solution Challenge Exploration 2021. Ang objective namin is para mabigyan kayo ng series of tech talks and workshops about various Google technologies to help Google developers in their mission to use technology in solving one or more of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. I hope na i-take on nyo itong challenge na ito. And kung in doubt naman kayo sa skills and abilities nyo, huwag kayong mag-alala. Kasi kaya nga nandito kaming mga DSC chapters at hindi lang itong chapter namin, kundi pati ibang DSC chapters from all over the Philippines para bigyan kayo ng sapat na kaalaman kung paano nyo pwedeng isolve yung mga problems sa community natin. I hope you take on the challenge and let's help make the world a better place through the use of Google technologies. I wish you good luck in this solution challenge and please enjoy the rest of our event series. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Dancy Paco, Creatives Lead of DSC AMCC Caloocan. I hope you're getting hype in today's event. And before that, I'd like to present the program flow for this evening. So we have already gone through our first program, the first part of opening remarks with Ate Justine. After some more opening remarks, we will be having our program proper, the Firebase in action with our guest speaker. The Q&A portion will be at our Discord server. So our guest speaker will be our guest speakers will be available to answer your questions. So if you haven't joined the Discord server, make sure to scan that QR code there at the slide. And lastly, we have our closing remarks and reminders. So in every event, there will be a random codes. It will be given at the random part of the program, so make sure to take note of the event codes as you will be submitting them at the end of the event for a certificate. So, as you can see, there is that link. And after you submit all of the event codes, you will be qualified to have a certificate. So yeah, speaking of codes, this is the first part. So make sure to note it down. There will be two more parts of the event code. So make sure to tune in. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome to Solution Challenge Exploration 2021. Before we go to the program proper or the event itself, I will do a quick chapter introduction to know about our club, like who we are, what we do, and all other stuff. And then I will do a quick event introduction so that you will know what we're gonna do for the next 2 months. So yeah, let's go. So before we start, let me introduce myself first. I am Ann Dominic Santiago, co-lead of DSC AMCC Caloocan, and you can reach me through my LinkedIn account at Dominic with two E's at the end. So to start off, we are the Developer Student Club's AMA Computer College Caloocan, and our tagline is Bridging Gaps and Enhancing Skills for Innovators of the Future. So what is the Developer Student Club? So it is a university-based community group for students powered by Google developers, and we aim to create an impact on anyone's life and to lead more students to be developers themselves. So by joining DSC and all the events we host, students will grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment, and build solutions for local businesses and their community using Google developer technologies. So meet our team. For the executives or the operations, we have Ate Justin Luis Napes, the acting lead for this year's chapter. And we have Dominic Santiago, yours truly, as the co-lead and secretary. And we are in charge of project management and overseeing the whole club's activities. And then for marketing, we have Dancy Pajo for the creatives lead and Kuya Mark Estilies for the marketing lead. Yep, and they handle everything about the advertisement of our club's activities through posters, invitations, and other artistic aspects for the publication materials of the club. So if you kind of like what you're seeing right now, like the design and other stuff, it's all thanks to them. For technicals, we have Kuya Gabriel Ryan Sevilla, and he's in charge of planning, designing, and implementation of our club's workshops and projects in different aspects of technology. So, our goal is to bridge the gap between theory and practical application for student developers. So basically, we host events based on what our participants need and to satisfy your curiosity. So everyone is welcome to join our virtual events like those who are beginners, professionals, and to all who are interested to join with no age limit or anything. Yeah. So our events are in line with the goal of DSC to bridge the gap between theory and application. And DSC AMACC Caloocan brings workshops and hands-on activities to enhance our knowledge and understanding of various technologies to solve problems of the community. So basically, it includes workshops or hands-on activities like study jams, tech or speaker talks, tech or info session talks. So some of the events we did when we still have face-to-face classes were like introduction to programming with Python, cloud study jam, which is the Google Cloud Platform Essentials. We have introduction to web development, version control with Git, Firebase study jam, intro to Android development and Flutter. Yep, like an annual career talk. And also lastly, we have the solution design day. Yeah, it is one of our past events as well, and you'll know why later. So why should you join us? We aim to train student developers to improve and enhance their skills with the use of Google technologies and resources from Google developers, as well as your professional and personal network in the industry with the use of technology. Plus, in line with our tagline, bridging gaps and enhancing skills for innovators of the future, we wouldn't want this pandemic situation to stop you, including us, from learning. So we bring the joy and thrill of discovering something new right at your home. So, if you're getting more curious about what our club is and if you want to be updated to our future events, you can connect with us by following our social media accounts, or you can scan the QR code right here at the screen. You can see. Yeah. So yes, we are now going to proceed to the event introduction, which is the Solution Challenge, Exploration, Design, Build, and Solve. So what is the Solution Challenge? It is an annual contest presented by the Developer Student Clubs, or DSC in short. And so at this event, we develop solutions for local community problems using one or more products or platforms from Google. So the Google Developer Student Club's 2021 Solution Challenge mission is to solve for one of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals using technology, and it is created by the United Nations in 2015 to be achieved by 2030. So the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, agreed upon by all 193 United Nations member states, that aims to end poverty, ensure prosperity, and protect the planet. And by the Solution Challenge Exploration 2021, the Developer Student Club's goal is for you guys to sign up for the Global Solution Challenge through Tech Talk and workshops in which you will equip knowledge about product design or prototyping and other Google products. Yep. And that is the end of my speech, and I hope that you're still awake there. Yeah. So yeah, kidding aside, I hope that you get the idea of what the Solution Challenge Exploration is, and I hope that I, along with our whole team, will get to bring you knowledge that you'll need to be the one of the problem solvers in our community. So again, this is Ann Dominic Santiago, and I will see you soon. Thank you and enjoy.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to the Solution Challenge Exploration Firebase in Action. So, let's introduce our guest speaker for today. Shang Yi Lim is a software engineer at Hubble and at Google Developer Expert in Firebase. He mainly works with Java, Angular, HTML5, and TypeScript. So, let's welcome Mr. Shang Yi Lim.
Hello, my name is Shang Yi. I'm a Google Developer Expert in Firebase and a software engineer at Hubble. Today, let's go through how you can get started with Firebase as beginners. As developers, you would think that building apps are easy, right? Just think of the features that you want to build and just get started right away. But unfortunately, there are a lot of things to consider before you get started to build an app. Firstly, you would need to know what sort of user interface you would like to build, whether it's a web app or a mobile app. Of course, once all of that is done, you of course need to deploy your app to your users. That would require hosting as well. Besides that, let's take a look at database. Database is needed in order for you to be able to share data across multiple users, and your user interface may require APIs to communicate. Sometimes you would also need API to be able to communicate between your application as well as the server to send and receive data. So, you will of course now need a server, which is the backbone that handles all the traffic between your application, your users, and the data. And if you have business logic as well, this is where you would normally put it. So, end of the day, when you want to consider building a simple app that can be used by multiple users, it gets complicated pretty easy. So let's take a look how we can actually solve them. Here comes Firebase to the rescue. Firebase helps mobile and web app teams to succeed. So let's take a look at what Firebase has to offer to help you with that. Firstly, let's take a look at how to build better apps with Firebase. These are some of the features that Firebase has that you can leverage in order to build your app. Other than that, you can improve your app quality by taking a look at some of these products that Firebase has to offer. Besides that, Firebase also helps you grow and engage your users. Firebase provides standard development kits for these popular platforms. For example, iOS, Android, and the web. If you are a C++ and a Unity developer, you can of course utilize Firebase as well. So let's get started on how you can build faster and easier with Firebase. Here's some of the products that Firebase has to offer to help you with your application development. Let's take a look at one of the few challenges you would face building an app, which is firstly the login functionality. Firebase Authentication allows you to easily integrate login functionality to your app. It supports email and password authentication, as well as popular identity providers such as Google, Facebook, etc. If you already have a custom authentication in place, Firebase Authentication can be easily integrated as well. Firebase Authentication is powered by Google Identity Services, so it is very secure for you to use it. Let's take a look at the demo. Here is a simple website with a secret image. I want to add Firebase Authentication so that only authenticated users can see this image. Let's start by creating a Firebase project. Enter a project name and click Continue. We won't be using Firebase Analytics for this demonstration, so let's disable it and click Add Firebase. Since we want to integrate Firebase with our web app, click on the web icon. Next, enter a name for your web app and click Register App. You will be presented with some code which initializes Firebase on your web app. Copy it and paste it in your HTML. Now, let's add Firebase Authentication. Click on the Build menu and then Authentication. Then click Get Started. Go to the Sign In Method tab and choose Sign In with Google. Set the project support email and click Next. In order for Google Sign In to work correctly, set the authorized domain. For this demo, we will be putting the StackBlitz domain. That's the domain that will be signing in using Google. Once we have done the setup, we can add the Firebase Authentication code. Let's take a look at the Firebase documentation to help us out. Firstly, add the authenticated library from the CDN link provided. Copy and paste it into your web page. Then, let's use the pre-built UI that contains the login button. Copy the code and paste it on the web page. Next, create a div tag. We will add code to populate the div tag with the pre-built UI. Go back to the documentation and look for the pre-built UI guide. Copy the code and paste it after the Firebase initialization code. This code helps initialize the pre-built UI. Let's add the code to populate the div tag we have created just now. Since we are only adding Google login support, we only need to include the Google provider in the sign in option field. Once that's done, we can add callbacks. The UI shown callback is run when the login button is rendered. So let's hide the loader. The sign in success with auth result is called when the sign in is successful. In that case, let's show our secret image to the user. Now we need to hide the secret image from unauthenticated users. Now, once that's done, let's test our code. The image can't be seen if the user isn't logged in, but once the user is logged in, the secret image shows. Easy, right? Another challenge that app developers face is the ability to save and retrieve data anytime, anywhere, and this can be done through a few Firebase products. One of them is the Firebase real-time database. Firebase allows you to store data in a JSON tree, and it supports real-time updates, so your users can get updated data easily without extra code. Besides that, it also allows offline handling and present support. So if you want to have an app that allows you to see the last user seen, or to know whether your users are online, you can use real-time database to help you out. Like real-time database, Cloud Firestore also has the ability to store and sync data in real time. It is a NoSQL database, and its data is organized in a document collection structure, so it's much easier to query compared to real-time database. Cloud Firestore has offline handling support as well as auto-scaling. Let's take a look at the demo. Now, let's try to add Firestore to our web app. This is a web app that allows you to keep track of all your tasks. You can add new tasks and they will be shown here. Prior to this, I have already set up my Firebase project and initialized Firebase in this app. Please check the first demo at the start of the video to know how to set this up. We will be using Firestore as the database for this app. So go to the Firebase project and add Firestore to it. Since we are doing a simple demonstration, we'll be starting in test mode, which means that anyone can read and write into your Firestore. For testing, this is generally okay, but you should set up your Firestore security rules to only allow logged-in users to read and write data. With security rules, you can configure who has permission to read or write particular collections or documents. So let's add the Firestore library to our web app. I'll be copying some code from the Firebase documentation website, which is your best friend to look for resources. Once that's done, let's get to the Firestore instance. First, let's create a function called addTask that will use the input value and save it to a Firestore collection called tasks. As a good measure, clear the task input when the data is saved to Firestore successfully. Hook the myTask function to the event handler on the Add button. Now, let's test this out. Add a task and click Add. Let's check Firestore to see whether our document is shown. Next, we will need to fetch the data from Firestore to display it on the web app. Let's implement real-time updates, so new tasks will appear automatically. Referring to the Firebase documentation, we look for the sample code to get real-time updates and copy it. Let's make some changes since the data is stored in the task collection. So, change the collection name from cities to tasks. Remove the filter since we are not using it. Now, we want to show tasks when a new document is added, so let's change that code too. Whenever a new document is added, we are adding a new list item to the list element with the task itself, so that it can be shown on the web page. Since this is a demo, let's leave the change type of modified or removed for a later time. Let's do a quick test. Add a few tasks and you should see the tasks are added immediately to the list. Pretty neat, right? One of the few challenges developers will face is the ability to add resources on their app, such as photos or files. This is where Firebase Storage can help you out. Firebase Storage allows you to store and serve media content, and it scales automatically. It has a global edge cache to help you retrieve your files optimally. Let's take a look at the demo. Let's take a look at a quick demonstration. Here, I want to build a web app called Friendly Pics that allows you to upload pictures and display them. Before this, I have already implemented Firebase authentication and I want to include Firestore as well. These are covered in the previous demonstrations, so you can rewind to check them out. Before we begin implementing this, let's go to the Firebase console and create a storage bucket. Firebase storage access depends on security rules as well, so this security rule is used by default, which only allows login users to read and write into the storage. You can use the default storage location, but it is usually recommended that the storage location should be closest to your users to reduce latency. Before we begin using Firebase storage, let's include the library in our web application. Look for it in the Firebase documentation and copy the script into your web app. Next, let's write some code. I am creating an upload picture function that will be used to upload the attached photo to Firestore. Get the file input element to retrieve the file. Then we use Firebase storage to create a root reference. The root reference is the starting path for all your files that are uploaded to Firebase storage. Next, create a child reference, which will be used to create the location of the image in Firebase storage. I am creating a reference to the images folder, then the image itself. This is not to be confused as the location of the file on your device, but rather the location of which the file will appear on Firebase storage. Attach the file by using the put function on the image reference. Once the upload is successful, we show an alert to tell the user that the file is uploaded. We then save the file's full path into the Firestore collection so that we can keep track of the files to display later. Let's do a quick test. Choose an image and try to upload it. Let's see if our files are uploaded to Firebase storage. Go to the storage in the Firebase console. A folder is created with the image as specified in the code. Remember that we also wrote the Firestore document to keep track of this image? Let's check it out. Looks like it works. Displaying the picture that we uploaded is what we're gonna do next. Here I have some Firestore code that runs when an image is added to the images collection. We use the path to get the image reference in Firebase storage. Now that we have the reference to the image, we can request for the image's URL by using the getDownloadURL function. Once the URL is returned from Firebase storage, we put it in an image to display. Once that's done, Let's take a look whether it shows our previously uploaded image. Now let's try adding another image and see whether it shows it as well. Pretty neat, right? I hope with this demo you can see how easy it is to integrate Firebase storage into your application. The next challenge is the ability to write business logic that should not be exposed on your client-sided app. So for example, if you have sales price calculations or doing an online shopping app, you will need to make sure that all of this logic should not be exposed on the client side, and it has to be written somewhere else. And in this case, you can use Cloud Functions to help you out. Cloud Functions for Firebase allows you to deploy JavaScript to the cloud. It allows you to trigger them through HTTP requests or through platform events, such as authentication events, Firestore events, analytics events, or publisher-subscriber events. Take for example, I want to be able to send an email upon a new user sign up. Suppose you need to process data in the background, for example, converting text into emojis. You can use Cloud Functions as a background trigger to help with that. The next challenge developers will face is the ability to host your application online. If you are a web developer, how can you make sure that your application can be hosted online in a secure fashion? This is where Firebase Hosting can help you out. Firebase Hosting provides fast and secure web hosting that is backed by a global CDN. If you have a custom domain, you can easily hook your custom domain to Firebase Hosting. In order to get started learning Firebase, take a look at some of these documents and links. I hope this session has helped you to get started with Firebase. Please be sure to check out the documentation for more information how you can use Firebase. Thank you.
Welcome back again, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. So make sure to stretch your arms and legs and rest your eyes and fingers a bit from doing all those activities. And I hope that you enjoyed tonight's event that is also brought to you by our Gold Community Partner, which is the Systems Plus Computer College Caloocan, CIT Developers Org, along with our bronze partners. So here's a few extra reminders for you guys. On February 17, 2021, on Wednesday, we will have another event called Firebase Web Code Lab at the same exact time, which is 6 p.m. And make sure to tune in to our announcements on Discord for that event. And for the events code that you have gathered a while ago, don't forget to submit it because that is where we will gather information to send your certificates. The link is already sent at our Discord server, so make sure to check it out. And yeah, again, thank you guys for your enthusiasm on learning with us, and see you on Wednesday. Goodbye.
Hello everyone, I am Mark DJ Yes, isa sa mga co-member and co-founder of DSC CC Caloocan, and on behalf of my club, we hope you enjoy today's topic. We at Developer Student Club AMACC Caloocan would like to thank our speaker for sharing us their knowledge, and it will surely help our fellow students and participants in creating their project for the upcoming Solution Challenge 2021. I would also like to thank our community partners such as our bronze partner, Junior Philippines Computer Society Mapua, Junior Philippines Computer Society Asia Pacific College, and to our gold partner, SPCC College of Information Technology for supporting our event. And lastly, sa lahat ng audience na nandito, sumama at nakilahok sa ating programa, maraming salamat po. And we hope you enjoys and may natutunan kayo ngayong araw at inaasahan namin na sasamahan nyo pa rin kami sa aming mga next event. And again, everyone, maraming salamat and take care.
Let's check out the solution challenge.
Let's do this.
Okay, I'll present my screen.
Welcome to the Google Developer Student Club's 2021 Solution Challenge. The mission of this challenge is to use Google technology to solve for one of the United Nations' 17 Sustainable Development Goals, aiming to end poverty, ensure prosperity, and protect the planet. Win cool prizes, mentorship from Google, and swag. Get help along the way from Google at training events, code labs, and hackathons. Submit your solution by March 31st, 2021. Register today. We can't wait to see what you build.
Let's get started.